Mykhailo Mudryk, the 90 million Ukrainian wonder kid that Chelsea spent all that money to beat Arsenal to get signed, and when we signed him, I was pretty excited. I remember him coming on against Liverpool under Potter and looking really, really, really dangerous, and I thought, unbelievable, we've got another player on our hands, someone who could go to like Iron Robin's level. And since then, he has just not at all done that. Looking at his stats, I think this year he's got one goal in 17 games. He just hasn't seemed to really do that much. He's not hit the ground running. Um, but this is the problem with Mudryk, and this is the big conundrum. So I think he could be really, really good. I think he actually could be a proper player. And I have a feeling that Chelsea will sign him, but I think that we'll actually really regret that. Um, the thing that struck me as the craziest here was Maresca in his last press conference basically outlined how he sees the team playing. So up top as the strikers, it's Jackson and Nkunku. On the right, it's Madueke and Neto. In the middle, Palmer and Felix. And on the left is Sancho and Mudryk. So Sancho started against West Ham, makes sense. And when he was substituted off, Neto came on, which to me implies that Maresca actually thinks that Neto is better deputising for Sancho on the left than Mudryk, and he's just fallen further and further down the pecking order. Um, there's no doubt he's been wasteful when he's been on. I think he didn't do very well against Serbia. He missed a few sitters. He doesn't score a lot, but I think Mudryk has definitely shown glimpses. He has occasionally tore it up. I think last year against Crystal Palace, he was really, really good. He absolutely done Wan-Bissaka for United last year, turned it on, just narrowly missed. He gets chances, but I think he flaps at them. And for me, this is the real conundrum. Mudryk reminds me a lot of Fernando Torres at Chelsea, in which he seems to me that he's a real confidence player and he just can't get it right now. I don't know if he's going to get an opportunity to get it. I don't know if he should get an opportunity to get it at the minute, but they did pay an awful lot for him, and he's on a really long contract. And the biggest concern I would have is that he's actually going to be like Mo Salah, in that the minute Chelsea let him go, he starts turning it up for someone else, and then he ultimately comes back to a different Premier League club to wreak havoc. I believe Salah was in his early 20s when we let him go. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Mudryk is anywhere near that level, or do you think he actually is just an inflated average player? But Salah couldn't really get a game for Chelsea. There was other players who were on there. He looked dangerous when he came on. He scored more probably, arguably, than Mudryk did now. Let him go. He went to Fiorentina and tore it up. Went to Roma, tore it up. Come back to Liverpool, and now he's breaking goal scoring records year on year. I think he's more goals than Ronaldo now. Mudryk, to me, is 23 years old. He's ridiculously fast. He seems like he can score goals. For some reason right now, I think he's so eager to score that he's shooting all the time. Yeah, I have watched him balloon quite a lot of shots nearly out of the stadium. But I feel like there's somebody in there. I feel like he is good, and I think if we let him go, it will come back to bite us. What do you guys think? Is there any hope for Mudryk yet? I'm seeing a lot of articles saying that they think he's going to go in January. He's desperate to leave. I don't know why he would be desperate to leave. Like, this is a big opportunity for him. He really needs to try and play himself into the team. Will he do it? I don't know. Sancho's came and showed up pretty well. Like, I think Mudryk's passing, some of his killer passes are actually pretty good. He gets to the line well. He's fast. He whips in crosses. He just lacks end product. But if that was to change slightly and we were to think, I know our saying, if your granny had balls, should be your granda, but if he had just taken some of these opportunities, scored some of the goals, scored against Serbia, scored a few of the times that like he's missed some of these chances, we'd be looking at very different figures. And I think we give Jackson a bit of a bye ball for having potential, but I think Mudryk does still have that. I think maybe if he stops being so selfish going through, he actually could start providing goals and assists. Last year when Poch kept Sterling on against Leicester, people went mad because I thought at that stage he was starting to show positive momentum, but that's sort of stalled. They showed him on camera a few times the other day. He looked pretty happy. I mean, I'm sure the guy's going through some tough periods, given that he comes from Ukraine. It's not exactly a party there right now, but I would like him to step it up. I think he might get a game here on Tuesday night. I think if he does, he needs to take all his opportunities right away. Like he needs to start scoring and assisting. I think Maresca's called him out pretty publicly. Don't know how many more chances he has, but I just think Chelsea have done this too often where we've had good young players on our books, we've let them go, and they just come back to bite us. And I don't think anyone needs to forget about Kevin De Bruyne and Salah being the key examples of this. Could argue Havertz is kind of starting to look at doing it now. So can we afford to let more talent like that go? Should we be? What do you guys think? Do you think Mudryk comes good, or do you think his time at Chelsea is now numbered? Is he a potential new Salah, or is he a bang average player who's just gonna fade off into the distance? Let me know, guys. I'd be very interested to hear your opinions on this. I am really hoping Mudryk comes good. I'd love to see him tear it up at Chelsea. But I think there's a lot of work that's going to have to go in for him to do that. And at the minute, I'm not convinced that's going to happen. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. And we'll be talking about more Chelsea topics going forward.